Hello, welcome back to my channel. So I want to talk about Tayler and Chance in this last episode of Life After Lockup, and we're literally witnessing the downfall of their relationship. So Tayler decided to invite over Bobby and one of her friends, and she wanted them to help her pack up the rest of Chance's belongings so she can just get all of his stuff out of her house for good. So, of course, Bobby and her friend wanted to know what was going on, and she explained that Chance was at work the day prior from 6 in the morning till 9 o'clock at night, and then he just shows up demanding to see her phone, and then when she wanted to see his phone, he throws his phone in the toilet, and then next thing you know, she checks the call logs, and she sees over 171 plus text messages between him and the town hoe, which is a gay guy. So Tayler lied to Chance in the last episode, and she told him that she had all these conversations between Chance and his boyfriend, even though she just had the logs, not the actual receipts to the conversations. So I think that was a smart move of Tayler to act like she knew more than she really did, because then Chance ended up admitting to some stuff that I don't think he would have admitted to. I think he thought that Tayler had these receipts and she was showing them to producers, and the producers already knew about him asking about pictures, and that's why he brought it up. So they caught up with Chance, who's building his empire as he's still sweeping the same dirty floor one episode later, and he reveals that he was texting this person. He thought it was a girl. And so first he thought it was Tayler. Next he thought it was a girl. And then once he finds out it's a guy, he asks the dude, hey, give me some more pictures. And he goes, Ish, you ain't sent me any pictures. So Chance was trying to act like this was a random person. I feel like he knew this person, had met them before, because he was like, damn, you ghosted me? And why would you be bothered if some stranger just quit messaging you all of a sudden? And they said, no, I'm in the shower. And then Chance said, okay, prove it. So the producers were just sitting there looking at Chance like this, like, you told us you weren't asking for pictures, but these receipts tell a different story. And Chance, he kind of got a little defensive. He's like, if I'm going to ask for pictures, I'm going to ask for pictures. I'm not going to beat around the damn bush. But how is telling someone to prove they're in the shower not asking for pictures? It doesn't even make any sense. Like this. And the fact that Chance has had 24 hours to sit and think about this lie, and that's the best he could come up with, I can't believe it. I've been talking to numerous people who know Chance's current girlfriend, Alyssa, in real life, and both of them told me that Chance's girlfriend is known as a compulsive liar. So it really sounds like Chance and Alyssa seem like two peas in a pod. And meanwhile, they had Tayler, Bobby, and her friend pack up the rest of Chance's belongings and take them out to the front lawn. And Tayler was just so frustrated with Chance at that point. She just decided to chuck the bag of clothes on the front lawn. But hey, it could have been worse. At least she put the belongings inside a bag, and she could have caught them on fire like Bobby was trying to recommend. At least she gave Chance all his stuff, because I feel like if the shoe was on the other foot and it was Chance's house, he would have not given Tayler all her stuff. He's the type of dude that a week later you'd be seeing his new girlfriend moved in, and you'd be seeing her wearing Taylor's outfits and rocking all her stuff. And I want to know, what time was it after they threw all this stuff outside and were sitting there waiting around on Chance, because they did say that Chance was running 4 hours later than he initially said he was going to be there. And someone said they saw one of the clocks say 3 in the morning in Taylor's back room. I kept trying to go back and rewind and find that part, and I couldn't find it. But the reason I'm asking is because I noticed a dramatic difference in Bobby from when we saw her earlier in the day to compared to when we saw her on Taylor's couch later that night. She was nodding out, and I instantly noticed it. Her voice was a lot deeper and had a drag to it. I mean, that can also happen to someone if they're super tired. I know if you catch me like any day past midnight, I'm going to start to slightly nod off, but I don't know. I can't say 100% for certain, because if she was acting like that during the day too, I would say for sure that she was high. But I don't know how late it was or what, but it's like you are just tired, if you're going to be up that late, then drink some coffee if you're going to be on national TV, because nodding out on national TV is not a good look. I think I heard somewhere before that she smokes green, so maybe she just smoked a fatty of some indica, and it does what indica does to you, makes you feel like you're in the couch. But I was very concerned because every time she would blink or nod out, it was just long drags in between each blink. And it was just very concerning, and I hope she's not backpedaling, because she has came close to dying so many times, and you can only get lucky so many times in life. And while we're talking about people possibly being high, I think Chance is definitely tweaking out. He's giving tweaker vibes all the way around. The way he acts with his anger towards Tayler and how he blows up, he just reminds me of some of my exes when I was on drugs, and they're all tweakers, and they blew up exactly like that, where it just doesn't make any sense and just makes the situation 10 times worse than it needs to be, and just so unpredictable. So Tayler, Bobby, and Taylor's friend were all waiting on the couch for a Chance to show up, and he was running 4 hours late, and Tayler is expressing her frustrations because she's like, not only do I have to do everything by myself now, but now I gotta find somebody to fix this house that looks like it's a freaking trap house, and now she's going to have to pay someone to come fix everything he messed up and finish all these projects that he never finished. And I feel like she should have never allowed him to do all that to her house. He didn't do nothing but take equity away from her house. And I did see where Tayler, one of her friends on Facebook, was actually defending her in one of the Facebook groups and saying that Tayler is a good mom, and she actually bought all her daughters new beds for Christmas and she apparently got rid of the catastrophe that he made in the girl's bedroom when he tried to make the DUI bunk beds, and it just looked like a safety hazard. And I felt bad for the girls, because I'm like, man, they're going to have friends come over and see that, and then they're going to make fun of them, and that's just not cool. So Chance calls Tayler, and he tells her that, you know, look, I'm 4 hours late, but I'm finally on my way. And he has Taylor's laptop. And so he pulls up and he sees Tayler threw all his stuff in trash bags and just threw them all on the lawn. So he got all pissed off. He's like, you know, she wants to throw my stuff on the lawn, so I'm going to throw her stuff on the lawn. And he just chucks the laptop like a toddler on the lawn and walks away from it. Then he goes up and he knocks on Taylor's door, and Tayler answers, but she's waiting for Bobby to come up and kind of be by her side. And when she looks behind her and calls for Bobby, Chance just freaked out, and he busted through the door like the Kool-Aid man, and he just starts acting like a psychopath, doing the absolute most and asking her, yo, you got a guy in here, you got a guy in here, and acting crazy. And it just seems like he was doing the most for the cameras, and that's why he was acting so extra. And he has to just make every situation 10 times worse than it needs to be. So pretty much it just seemed like this dude showed up to be an absolute menace, because Tayler was like telling him to chill out, and even her friend was like, you need to chill out, this is her house, you need to respect it, she's the one who owns the house and has it in her name. And then Chance was like, you know what, I'm just gonna get my stuff and I'm gonna go, but you're lucky because I don't even have to go, because legally I'm allowed to stay here. And you know, he actually is right, because I know this from experience, because I'm from the same state Chance and Tayler from, Missouri, and I had a situation with a psycho ex-boyfriend. I've told this story before on my channel, but he was staying with me for not even a whole week. He was only with me for like 3 or 4 days. He went crazy, and on a meth rage, he decided to break all my doors and break a whole bunch of my stuff. And when I tried to call the cops to have him leave, I didn't want to press charges. I just wanted him to leave. They're like, no, technically he can't leave, because in the state of Missouri, he's now legally considered a resident. And I know this for a fact, because when I tried to get my ex to leave or have the police have him leave, they're like, no, has he spent the night with you one night at least? And I was like, yeah. And they're like, okay, he's considered a resident. And I'm like, well, he does not pay rent. His name is not on the lease. Technically, I'm not even supposed to have anybody here living with me. And they're like, oh, well, as long as he spends the night with you one night or leaves any of his personal belongings at your place, then he's legally considered a resident. And the only way you can get rid of him is if you do the eviction process, and that can take a minimum of 30 days, and you have to go to court. Or you can get a restraining order, and that's like the best way to expedite trying to get someone out of your place. And I think that's why, as soon as Chance did leave, her friend and Bobby were trying to encourage her to get a restraining order, because they felt like without the restraining order, there's a good likelihood that Tayler would give Chance another chance. And that way he can't try to show up like tomorrow and just try to come back like nothing happened and have to wait until Tayler evicts him. Even Chance was telling the producers that he took Tayler's laptop because he wanted to have a reason to come back and apologize. And I think he wanted a reason to come back, and he was hoping he was going to catch Tayler by herself so he could try to talk her into coming back and giving him another chance. And then once he saw that Bobby and her friend were there and they weren't about to have it, that's when he started to get pissed off and act like a toddler. So he goes outside and he decides he wants to talk to Tayler, and he's telling Tayler, I don't know why you're so mad. And Tayler was like, because you're talking to your boyfriend behind my back. And he's just playing dumb. And he's like, oh, well, you're talking to other people too. And I thought it was interesting because when she accused him of cheating, he didn't deny it. He just said, well, you're a cheater too. And the only thing he seemed concerned with is the fact he didn't have a place to stay. And he's like, well, I guess I'm not going to see my son anymore. She's like, just give me a few days. And really, Chance does need to calm down, because he cannot be acting like that in front of her kids. Hopefully it was late enough where all her children were asleep when he was busting through the door like a Kool-Aid man acting crazy. Because this episode, Chance was constantly saying, oh, I got the recipe for the proof of the pudding. Whatever the hell that means. I think the only thing Chance has the recipe for is how to make some meth. After Chance realized that Tayler was not going to give in and let him spend the night with her, he decided to call up his friend Tanya, because he doesn't have any money to get a room of his own. And I don't know what happened to the other place he was claiming he was going to stay at that he was telling Tayler about. So he borrows money from Tanya for the room, and that's where he's headed tonight. He's probably ready to call up his boyfriend as soon as he gets to the hotel. I feel like Tayler should have left Chance a long time ago. But I'm glad she's finally coming to her senses and realizing that this whole relationship just is not for her, and Chance is never going to change. And just the fact that he could not apologize or take any accountability when it came to anything when he was trying to talk to her just goes to show that he's never going to take accountability. He's more focused on being right than doing what he needs to do to fix his relationship. And I think he realizes that him and Tayler just aren't going to work out, because he can't stop talking to other people and asking them for pictures. And Tayler is going to continue to hold him accountable. He just wants to be able to cheat in peace. So that's why I think he went with a much younger, naive girl like he's with now. But that's it for this video, guys. Let me know what you guys think about everything in the comments below. Check out my lashes and cosmetics at AccordingtoAmber.com. Give this video a thumbs up, subscribe, and thank you so much for watching.